my mother, from the time she saw this movie, like when she was 35, where some person who was terminally ill turned his face to the wall and stopped eating and drinking, she said, that's what I'm going to do. And so she told us this whenever we talked about the end of her life. And so when she was 96, and this was in 2009, she said, I'm ready, this is what I'm going to do. So she talked with her doctor, and the doctor said, yeah, you've got a perfectly legal right to stop eating and drinking. You know, there's nothing that can come back at you. This is not something that is going to get you in trouble or your family in trouble, because anyone can refuse food and water. So my sister and I and my sister's daughter and my sister's husband, we were all there, and we shared out the 24-hour watch. But it was so cool at first because she loves to travel. So this was just like another trip. She was excited. She was doing what she wanted to do. She was going to go someplace. She didn't know what it was. She didn't really have an idea. She said, I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen afterwards, but it'll be all right. And so for the first few days, we watched all her favorite movies, and we sat around and reminisced. We wrote down some of her history. It was sort of like a party, except she wasn't eating or drinking anything. 3 or 4 days after she'd stopped eating, and she was only just taking a little sip of water to take some of her pills, all of a sudden she said, you know, I think I'd like to have a root beer float because I want to go with a good taste in my mouth. So we went to the dining room, we got some root beer, and we got some ice cream, and we put it all together, and she drank it. But she wouldn't drink very much because she said, because I don't really want to slow this down. So when she did finally die, we all sat around and drank root beer floats. So this started on July 1st. And by the 9th, she knew, that she was getting weaker. We'd called in for a hospital bed, and she was not sitting in her chair anymore. She was lying down. And she was still just having a little bit of lemon juice on a sponge or something, but other than that, she didn't really drink root beer floats very many times. And on that 9th night, she called us all around, and oh boy. Yeah, so she called us around and she kissed us all goodbye. And the next morning she really wasn't there. But it was 2 more days while her body was just lying there and she was still breathing before she really died. And, this is all very long and drawn out and excruciating. And so 11 days, it's a really long time. When you've made up your mind, So this is why I support the physician aid in dying.